All right, we're just here at Book Soup. Just bought How to Win Friends and Influence People. Looks good, right, Ollie?
Yeah, it looks great.
And she got a not a Studio 54 book. She likes to party.
Yeah, I like to party.
I get asked a lot, you know, what's the secret if you're completely broke, if you're trying to do big things? Without a doubt, your ability to have powerful social skills, whether it's networking, whether it's finding mentors, finding investors, it all comes down to a few principles. Always use, by the way, $100 bookmarks. Why? It's not to show off, it's to remind you that if you read this book, there's a lot of value in it, not just financially, but in all ways in life. So we're gonna head back to the office here. Let me see if I can get you in. Brought the Ferrari out. So watch the edge here, don't scrape. So the most powerful things that I've learned when it comes to social skills, you all right, you in there? Oh, I'm gonna try to sneak in here without getting hit. Woo. Sunset Boulevard's a bitch. The number one, hold on guys, there we go, sneak in. All right, so when you're first starting out, it's very easy to get intimidated, right? Why? Well, you'll assume that just because you've never done anything or you're just starting out, that everybody you meet knows that. People don't always know that, so you gotta stay cool under pressure. I don't know what happened to my hair. The top down on this thing. Spiders are awesome, but don't go too fast. Anyway, so the first thing is don't get intimidated. You gotta stay cool. Every human is on the same path. No matter how powerful they are today, in 100 years, they'll be dead. Keep that in mind. No matter how beautiful somebody is, they won't be beautiful in 100 years. All of us are on the same path. And since we're all on the same, and I actually read an interesting book. I think it's by Mladenow, the guy, the physicist from Caltech. And he said all humans are descended from 70 women. Genetically, humans are very close to each other. So don't get intimidated, because being intimidated and showing a lot of weakness to people will inevitably turn them off. No one wants to be around somebody who's desperate. So number two is don't be cocky. So sometimes people are either too shy and intimidated, or their flip side. You can't post up. One time I made a mistake. I had a billionaire guy, and it's the first Ferrari I ever had, not this one, another one. And I showed up at the airport and I was trying to act all cool, like I was, you know, can you press the start button? And by the way, I shouldn't talk too much. Probably nobody wants to hear from me. Ollie's a little bit shy, but you moved here from Kentucky.
I did.
You were Miss Kentucky.
I was Miss Kentucky 2013.
So she knows Donald Trump, if you're looking at the political race. But you didn't know anybody here, and you had to network. And
yeah, I came here all on my own, drove here, you know, across the country, and you just figure it out. You meet people, you network, and
you're not, she doesn't really you don't get intimidated. You're pretty cool under pressure.
Yeah.
She don't even need this book. She don't even need those $100 bills. She's a Capricorn though. Capricorns always appreciate $100 bills, bookmarks. Anyway, so the number two thing, you know, when I rolled up on this guy in Ferrari at the airport, he was a billionaire. It didn't impress him. He was like, dude, he told me, he goes, I have a fleet of Ferraris. He's like, what'll impress me about you is you just showing me what you know, which leads to number three. You gotta know stuff. And a lot of people say, Ty, how can I, you know, be persuasive? How can I network? If you don't know shit, people are gonna figure it out. So the beauty is, no matter where you are in the world, you could be broke, like I was, broke, sleeping on a couch, 47 bucks in my bank account. You could be in the same situation, dead. Whatever it is, you could still know a lot of stuff, because you can pick up a book. You can go on YouTube now. You can start to become knowledgeable, and you don't have to be knowledgeable about everything. Warren Buffett, the billionaire investor, says just have a circle of competence. Just keep your knowledge in a tight circle and you'll impress people. So there's a lot more things. Check out the book. You've never read it before, right?
I haven't.
So
I'm gonna read it.
She's gonna read it. And along with that, that's a badass coffee table book. If you never heard the story, I used to own a lot of nightclubs. So this is like the original nightclub, Studio 54. By the way, check out this shirt somebody made for me. The Good Life. Health, wealth, love, and happiness. And it's got my website. Somebody mailed this. So whoever mailed this to me, thank you for the present. And you want to hold the camera while I drive for a second? can't go too fast. There's a lot of people on Sunset. All right, that's how fast you could go. People always are like, dude, why don't you go fast in these videos? I'm like, it's Hollywood, guys. You see, Phil, turn the camera around. That's about how fast you can go. So, anyway, here, you can hold it again. So here's a question for you. Oh, by the way, I'm doing this big contest. I'm gonna give away a car this year, okay, to the winner. It's not gonna be a Ferrari 458 Spider, but I'm gonna give away a car, and I'm giving stuff away every Friday. I have this little thing called Invest in Others. I believe people helped me when I was starting out. They didn't always help me with contests or money, but they gave some time. My mentors taught me what they knew, and so I believe in investing back in other people. So I'm doing this thing. So subscribe here, wherever you're watching this. Make sure you subscribe, because I'm just gonna pick randomly from the subscribers every Friday, and I'm doing some flash contest stuffs too. And at the end of the year, I'm gonna pick somebody, so give them a car. Okay, so anyway, subscribe. And by the way, what's the number one thing you ever learned about people, dealing with people?
Treat others the way you want to be treated.
Old school, golden rule. Can't beat that. All right, guys, peace out. Is there a money-making blueprint? This is the perpetual question probably all humans ask themselves at one time or another, and some people more than others. So I'll give you my opinion on that. Is there kind of like a map? You follow X, Y, Z, boom, money starts pouring in. And I'm not sure it works exactly that way, but I'll tell you, let me give you a few little things that I think are real applicable. Number one, I read an interesting article years ago, and it said there's 5 approaches that people have, or 5 attitudes people portray when they are confronted with someone else's success. So let's say you see a pro athlete, or you see a billionaire in a Forbes magazine. How do you react? So, and this is directly relevant to your potential income or earning potential in life. So the number one thing is, like, people say, oh, that person got lucky. Number 2, they say they did something dishonest. Number 3, they say maybe they inherited it. You know, I forget number 4. And then number 5, only 20% of the time do people go, maybe that person did something that I didn't do. Maybe they attribute it to kind of like physics, the law of cause and effect. For every action, there's an opposite and equal reaction. So the number one thing that I think, number one, if you want to make more money, the second you begin to become what I call, quote unquote, negative dissector, you already are paralyzed. And income doesn't go up when you're paralyzed. So the second you go, well, that person is successful only because they inherited their money, or because probably, I don't know, but I bet you they did something unethical, or just a big luck event happened in their life. Well, what's the end game there? What are you going to learn from it? I was doing a live call, and this guy said to me, he said, but Ty, take someone like Donald Trump. Donald Trump admits his father gave him $1 million loan. And I said, well, so you're dissecting and saying that a guy like Donald Trump isn't that successful because his father gave him $1 million. Well, he turned it into $9 billion. Now, I'm not necessarily pro-Trump for president or whatever, but I've learned never negative dissect people who are successful. Why? You can't learn anything. But if you do the opposite, which is go, he took $1 million and turned it into 9,000 million. That's a great ROI. That means this guy knows how to increase his income. You give him a little, he turns it into a hell of a lot. And what I said to that person on the live call, I said, well, if I'd given you $1,000, would you have been able to turn it into $9 million? Or even $900,000? And the guy on the live call chatting with me said, oh, maybe I could. I said, see, you were about to go down that route of most people. See other people's success and get paralyzed without even knowing it by immediately writing off other people's success. So if you want to be successful, number one, instead of negatively dissecting, then number two, what you want to do is think of yourself like Robin Hood. I remember I was like a teenager. I saw the movie Robin Hood or a cartoon or something. I remember thinking, I want to be like Robin Hood, except I don't want to do it literally. I want to do it figuratively. Like, I don't want to rob from the rich and give to the poor. I want to rob from the riches in their brain and give it to myself, the poor. I saw myself as not knowing how to make any money. So I was like, be a Robin Hood. Take from the rich, people wealthy in knowledge, experience, wisdom, shortcuts, ideas, and give it to myself, poor. And the quicker you adopt that, the quicker you're gonna go. You will make more money if you begin to implement this. I don't know if you become a millionaire or billionaire, but it's not all about being a millionaire or billionaire. It's about going up. Number 3. I think we're on 3, right? If you think that it's, well, actually, let me give you a different one. Those 2 were mental tips, right? I gave you some mindset tips. Let me give you some practical tips, some cutting edge stuff. If you want to increase your income, I would look at 2 industries. One's called the messaging industry. So messaging is like WhatsApp or Periscope or Meerkat, the live apps. Snapchat's even a messaging app. So messaging businesses are making a lot of money. WhatsApp, $18 billion business. I forget what the live Periscope Meerkat, it's probably worth close to $1 billion. People want to communicate with each other. And if you want to make more money and you enable people to communicate, this is an up and coming trend. It's a disruptive market trend that if you don't know what you should be doing with your life and you're kind of a social person and you're interested in social kind of businesses, that's a little practical tip, something I think can increase people's income if they put their head down and focus and really learn about that industry. And there's some other industries I think are up and coming. I'm actually going to do a live talk on this, I'm giving you kind of some of these here, under 10 minutes, little videos that I do on my video blog. Just came back from golfing, so I'm getting ready to go take a nap. I'm tired. I was playing golf with 2-time Laker championship point guard Norm Nixon, and Rob Fukuzaki, the TV guy. And so it was interesting talking to him. He won 2 championships. You learn a lot from those people. I see myself like Robin Hood. I'm playing golf from a guy who made it to the top of one of the hardest sports in the world. And so I don't go, well, he's just lucky, he's really athletic. Remember what I said, principle number 1? So anyway, and we talked even about messaging, if you're looking for some industries. So I'm going to do a live talk on this. If you want even more stuff than I'm giving you now, click the link, take you to my website. It's completely free. There's no credit card needed. I've been doing these. They started out with like 1,000 people coming on live. Now they're up to about 25,000 people. So don't procrastinate, because I can actually interact with you. So when you click the link, take you to my website. It'll show you the time in your local time zone when the talk is. And then also give you a chance to submit some questions. So first come, first serve. If you have some questions for me, don't wait till there's 20,000 people or whatever on the call. It's too hard for me to answer. So click the link. You can watch, and you can watch them on your phone or your computer. They're pretty easy while you're doing other stuff, or if you have time to focus while you're in the car, sitting at your desk, maybe working, have some off time. So let me give you some other practical stuff. One of the things is, instead of procrastinating, you want to focus on activating. And that sounds a little cheesy because that rhymed. I didn't mean it to rhyme actually, but my second mentor, third mentor, or maybe it was fourth, Al Howell. I had a guy named Alan Nation and Al Howell. They both start with AL. I confuse them sometimes. But Al Howell is when I worked at GE Capital. GE Financial, which at that time was the largest company in the world and a big finance company. He came in to train me. He was much older than me, and he said, Ty, the difference between, in his experience, between ordinary people and people who make millions of dollars is that the people who make $1 million just do the common sense stuff that everybody knows they should do, but don't do. That's what I mean by activating instead of procrastinating. Most of the world, you probably right now, if I sat down with you right now, something that you could implement that would make you more money. At your job, a way that you could get a raise, get shares in the company, be promoted to partner. If you're an entrepreneur, a product you should be launching, a sales call you should be doing, maybe you should be getting on a plane and traveling somewhere. So we generally know what we should activate. We just don't do it. So I wish, in this money making blueprint, some of it is inside your head. It's not inside my head. It's not inside anybody else's head. Mark Cuban actually told me something very interesting. So Ty, one of the biggest problems I see now with people want to make money and entrepreneurs, he's on Shark Tank and all that. And he's made $3 billion himself. Not a bad number. He said, sometimes the answers, you have them already. You just got to do them. And people spend I'm a big believer in books and knowledge and all that, but at the end of the day, you also have to activate some of that knowledge. All right, another practical tip. If you're not making enough money, learn to do sales and persuasion. You can do it in your current entrepreneurial venture. You can do it at a company you work at. If you're unemployed, it's a way to guarantee you'll always make more money. People who know how to communicate with others, who understand the psychology, they understand the logical fallacies, they understand the cognitive biases. If you can do this, you'll always have a place in life. I promise you. And you'll always make more than you expect you would make. But only if you're good at it. Mike Steinbeck used to tell me, hey, Ty, if you're afraid of the phone, you'll never make much money in life. And he's kind of old school back then. He didn't use the computer like he was a different generation than I was, or than I am. And what he meant was, if you're afraid to engage with people, how are you ever going to do big things? So if you're introverted, there's some tools I'm going to give on this live talk on how to get out there. Sometimes it's partnering with someone else to do it for you. And sometimes it's just learning some simple techniques that aren't that stressful. It doesn't have to be cold calling and all this stuff that people are afraid of. So yeah, click the link. I'm gonna give you lots of stuff. I got other trends that I see upcoming. I've got other blueprint, this quote unquote money making blueprint, how you can build your own. Because really there's not one that I have. I can give you fundamentals and I'll give you some specifics. And you can make a little tweak even on this phone call, on this live call that I'm gonna do. You can walk away from this live call with an actual plan for yourself. That's the goal. So while the rest of the world is, what Norm Nixon, when I was golfing, told me? He said, what do you think makes a champion? He said, when everyone else is sleeping, champions out there working on their dream. I thought that was a cool thing he said. So on this live call, I'm going to walk you through it. We'll go through together. Walk away with a little blueprint that's personalized for yourself, that has tried and true principles. And yeah, maybe let's make I would hate to say it sounds cliche, but time to make a change sometimes. Joel Salatin, my first mentor, the first and the greatest that I had, he said, there is no change without a change in routine. So this live call, maybe you have never been on one, maybe you have. It's a little bit different routine than most people. Most people playing video games, eating junk food. But you be a champion while everyone else is doing that stuff. Come, let's make this blueprint together. And click the link. It's free. Take it to my website. And yeah, I'm actually, before you go, just to prepare for it, leave a little comment below, something you should already be activating that you're not activating yet. For me, I'm adding some new salespeople at one of my companies to get on the phone and interact more with customers. I know that'll help. Customers want help, and we have been building that out, and that's something I'm activating more and more, and it's working really well, and it's a win-win. Customers love it. They get more interaction. They get their personalized answers, and it's a great way to, like I said, messaging, communication. This is the future. This is what this is right now. You couldn't do this even 10 years ago. So catch the future trends. Click the link. It's above, below. You can go to my website too, tylopez.com, and you'll see a link to it. Sign up. It's free. No credit card. No gimmicks. No tricks. And I will see you soon. All right. I'm headed to bed there. It's a little dark in here. Sorry. I'm headed to take a nap, not bed.